And so this is Jobe, one of the community nurses here in Crouch. And Jobe, good morning. How are you? Busy. I was just surprised. Normally, community nurses are said to start from the health center. So, but today you seem to be starting from your flat. So, can you tell me why that is?
It is because when I go to the office, we notice that I usually lose an hour and a half. It's because when you go to the office, you find things you need to do. So we don't want that to hamper with the treatment.
Yeah.
Because if you don't manage your time well, you'll end up like very tired at the end of the day without lunch.
So that means yesterday you've taken everything that you need from the office.
Yesterday, I already prepared what I need for today.
Okay, so basically the day before you started from the office, and then today.
Usually we go for handover in the office around 2:30 after lunch.
Oh, okay.
If you're lucky.
So this is an exception today. Do you normally start from the office on the morning or not?
It depends on the need.
Okay, so how would you know which patients you are going to see if you're starting from home?
We have e-community app.
Ah, okay.
We see before you go to the office to take your patients and the things that you need, and then you go to houses. But now we have this app that shows if the allocation has been finished yesterday. It will show you the patients that you need to see, and after that, it will go to your patients because you know them already. Unless it's a new patient, you have to look for the information and all.
Okay.
But today we don't have new patients because we're understaffed.
Okay. Do you just decide that you will start from home, or is that something that your manager has to decide for you?
We decided.
You as nurses, so you're quite independent then.
Yeah, this is unique for community nursing. It's a lone working area of nursing, so you have to decide on your own, and then you must have the capacity to manage your own time, taking good care of yourself at the same time, and go to patients.
Okay. Now, talk to me about your outfit. Is there a certain uniform you have to wear, or you're free to have like a different thing every day?
I was actually surprised when I came here.
Yeah.
Because I thought we have a certain uniform, but apparently they scrapped it.
Oh, okay.
They scrapped that idea. You can wear anything, just look smart.
Oh, that's good.
That's it. It's because with so many issues of safety.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, some patients doesn't want to be known like, oh, there's a nurse visiting them.
Okay.
So you shouldn't look like one. And because there's also the danger of these people who's addicted to drugs. So they thought that these nurses have these medication which we do not carry.
Okay, I see.
So we don't want them to have that kind of idea, and there's a safety precaution, so we don't wear anything.
Okay. So do you just walk during your shifts like this, like what we are doing now?
Yeah, faster than this actually.
Okay, you can go faster. Don't worry about me. I'll catch up.
It's because, don't worry, we have walkers. Usually, actually, community nurses needs car because it will be really hard for walkers. But we get used to it. It's just time management. If
Yeah.
you don't, you lose it.
So, do you have the option? Let's say you cycle. Can you take your bike?
Yes, of course, you can.
So any form of
Transport.
yeah. Okay.
I'm planning to have one, but not yet. I'm still processing my license.
I see.
Yeah.
Done. So this is the first patient that Jobe is going to. So we're just waiting for the door to be opened. Okay, Jobe. So how many patients do you have today?
10?
10 patients. Okay, is that your normal load or is that more because you're short-staffed?
That's more. But it's manageable.
Before, what's like the ideal number?
It's not the number of patients actually. It's the amount of work that you do with the patients. So you can have 11 and it's all medication, so it's not heavy. But if you have wounds, that takes time.
So you've mentioned wounds and medication. Is there anything else that you do as district nurses?
Yeah, different types of medication though. We have enema, digital removal of the feces, we have PICC lines, we have syringe drivers, and the life care. We'll have that.
Okay.
Yeah, for adults of course. It's
For
all
adults.
adult treatment.
So you started your shift at 8:30.
Yeah.
What time would you, like, what is the actual time you're supposed to finish?
5.
5. And most of the time, does it happen like that? Or do you go home earlier or later than that?
You can't go home earlier as much as you can. No, it's usually like 5 or more than that.
More than that. But say, for example, it's a good day and you have, let's say, only 7 patients.
You go home on the dot then. Okay.
What's that for?
This is your injection
It's for.
your blood flow.
Right.
Yeah?
Okay, no.
Sharp scratch coming, yeah?
Ooh,
I know, it
I can
hurts.
feel that.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Joe, how many minutes are you supposed to take per patient?
It depends on the work.
Okay.
For example, if it's just injection, it usually takes 20 minutes. There's allocated time frame for them. So if you could do it faster, that's fine. But those time are for them. So it really depends. For wounds, it depends on the kind of wounds you're seeing.
Uh-huh.
For pressure sores, it takes time.
And you mentioned how the clients you usually see live alone.
Yeah.
Would you expound more on that and what's the experience like?
Well, they're chatty. They're chatty because they're lonely. They need someone to talk to. So most of the time, they're happy to see us. So it's because they see people
Yeah.
most of the time, but not all.
So if you're not busy, you sort of get the chance to actually talk to them and have a proper conversation.
Yes, of course. Proper conversation, updates with their lives, just to make them more happier than usual.
Where are we going now?
Boss.
Bus again.
The next ending boss. The other side.
Yeah.
That's for great timing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. You're the one who's taking it. Okay. This is your medication today. Yeah. Usually it's really hard in the community to
Yes, it's quite amazing that there doesn't seem to be one.
so
You all do something like that here, in Finland.
the wound is not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's still a bit open, but it's not bad, yeah?
Yeah. And this one as well here, it doesn't really worry me too much, but it's this side here, where this side here, which is sensitive.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't remember what happened here. It was some kind of.
So what we do with that one, I'll just check, I'll send a message to the podiatry so they can check it, yeah?
Yes. It still is a bit sensitive.
I know.
That one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's still some sort of
Ay, malapit lang? Okay. So for that previous patient, Joby, I saw that there was like a safe. Is that normal for everyone to have a safe for medications?
No, that's not normal. It's because these patients have difficulties. So if they can't be independent with their medication regime, so we managed to have it safe from the sun, so the medication won't be displaced, or the risk of over indulging with this one. So yeah, that's why she has safe.
And then after you've given that, you have to sign some sort of record?
Yeah, because we have markers as well that recorded that you have given her medications. So actually this is her class today because she has medications in the morning and in the evening the twilight comes. So,
If the patient has carers, are the carers allowed to give the tablets?
of course they are, as long as it's in the blister pack, because they can't give it straight from the box.
I see.
So the care agencies have their own policies as well. So that's how it is.
So
Most
that's why-
agencies agreed with the blister pack.
Okay. So that's why if they go home from hospital and there's a change in medication, then you have to refer to district nurses
Yes.
to give from the boxes.
Yes.
Okay. But you said this last patient you had a cat. So what were you telling me about the protocol?
It's because well, I'm not afraid of animals, to be specific. But if the nurse has phobia for cats, so they ask the patients to put it or hide it away first before coming in, because they can't do what they want to do because of their fear. So that's one. But it's good if you're a community nurse and I'm not afraid of anything. So
If the patient has something that you're afraid of, can you refuse that patient?
it depends on. It's not that you can refuse, but it's really hard if they have cats and you don't want to put it away. They have dogs that you're afraid of. You don't want to put it away. You pack your bags and go home.
Okay.
Because it's something like that.
Okay. Could you tell me about your shiftings for community nurses?
Day, twilight, and night service. Day shift, we start from 8:30 to 5 p.m. Twilight starts at 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. We have the night service, which is for basically emergency calls.
Uh-huh.
So 10 p.m. to 8 I'm not quite sure with the night service, but we usually have it. They have handover for us every morning.
Okay.
If they visited someone, if someone died, someone cold, like that. So,
And this is a bit of a personal question.
ah,
Has it always been your calling to do community nursing?
calling. Calling?
Or okay, let's make it easier. Do you prefer community nursing, or is it your personal choice?
It's my personal choice. It's my personal choice.
Were you a community nurse back in the Philippines?
Yes, I am. I used to do community nursing for 3 years. I learned in Pangasinan. But it's quite different from here.
What's like the main difference?
The difference is house visits, and we do a lot of treatments at home. In the Philippines, we have house visits, but it depends on the need. Because I was working for far-flung areas,
Yeah.
so we go there, and we have a health center where the patients go and get their vaccinations.
So they
their
come to you
treatments,
instead.
Medication, yeah.
Okay.
So that's one thing. And here in community nursing, we don't do vaccination. That's a different team.
I see.
Yeah.
So Joby, another bus ride then?
Yes.
So is that one of the main challenges of community nursing?
Yes.
Have you ever had times where you had to actually run to catch the bus?
I hate doing it, but yes. I don't like running for buses.
So I guess you should get a car soon.
Yes, I will. Ito mga ano to, 3 minutes na paglalakad.
Okay. So what's that iPad for, Joby?
That's for everything actually. We have the app for community, so you have to time in, actualize your patients. So we have their name and how much time did you spend for that patient, and you have to think if you have done the work or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that sense, every time you sign into each patient, the health center is aware of where exactly you are.
Yes.
So it's a form of safety precaution as well.
Yes.
Do you have like an alarm bell or something? We're not gonna show it, but
Yes, I
it's
have.
confirmatory. Yes, you have something that you can just press if there's an emergency.
Yeah, but I think the service is trying to get us. There's this alarm bell that's just for warning something like that. It just sounds. But there's this technology that the district nurses have. that-
Yeah, I've seen this one in other trusts
In another job, yeah.
where they can hear the conversation, so you don't have to say anything. Okay.
So they're just like, hello, are you okay?
Yeah.
If you accidentally press it.
So how do you deal with the weather? So it's obviously it doesn't stop regardless of what the weather is. So if it's like 0 degrees, it's snowing, do you still need to get to your patients, right?
Yes, of course. You can go there. Just a little bit of a car, that's easier. If you're a worker, you don't have like me.
You just have to
Yeah, layer.
do layering, wear gloves and all of that.
Boots should be ready.
So basically it's regardless of weather, the work continues.
Yeah, so that's it.
So could you say that's one of the cons of community nursing? You're not in a controlled environment, isn't it? Like in the hospital.
Anyhow, you can still go to the hospital even if it's snowing or raining or there's ice.
No, to be fair, yes, you still need to work.
You need to work there. Even if the world is burning.
Oh, how about if you need to use the toilet, where do you where do you go?
Good question. Because I really need to use the toilet, but no time. It depends. You can ask your patients if you can use the toilet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they usually let you use it. Some nurses don't drink a lot of water.
Oh yeah.
They don't want to urinate anything. There's these sensitive people. Not really sensitive, it's because there are people who cannot use others' toilet than theirs.
Mhm.
So they just don't drink a lot of water and that can make them breathe.
Speaking of hydration and taking care of yourself, what is your break time?
Break time, it's not lunch break. It's one.
And where do you have your breaks? Where do you have your breaks?
Alright, that's tricky because sometimes you can do it in the office. And then what else? Because my home is near the office.
Mm.
I usually go there to eat lunch. Or if it's impossible because you have still patients after
Mm.
lunch break, and it's quite hard to go back and forth.
Mm.
So I actually go into restaurants or cafes to eat
Okay.
because self-care is important. Yeah. Because you can't do your work with an empty stomach. Hydration.
Yeah, perfect. As someone who's actually doing the job, what for you are the positive side of community nursing?
Positive. You get to meet a lot of people and interesting people at that. Well, you do that in the hospital as well, but they behave differently at home. So where they are more safe, or let's guess they're more comfortable in their own home, so they behave differently. They can be friendly or just little like that, but seeing how the reality of these people, old people, and people who don't, for example, these people with disabilities as well. So it's interesting. Their life is interesting. Working in this job will make you feel like, I have a better life. I would say you're
Lucky.
lucky. Do you appreciate things better? I guess.
Mm.
Yeah. How about other pros? What else?
Shiftings? How about
Shifting, yeah.
if you prefer day shift?
Day shift, if you want to sleep at night, yeah, you only have to work on the day. Then we have twilight. Yeah, it's a different thing.
And in terms of being autonomous, do you see that as a pro, that no one is constantly watching over you, or having a charge nurse
Oh,
just behind your back all the time?
that's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. On one side.
On one side, that's fine. But you see, what you can, if you want to be a community nurse, my only opinion is that you have to have the right experience.
Mm.
I think if you have been exposed to the hospital in the acute setting, which is really nice as well, when you go lone working, you will have to decide on your own most of the time. Where there are times that you can't, so you have to call your coordinator or your manager at that. But most of the time you have to decide. So if you don't have enough knowledge, skills, and experience, how will you decide? So but this is the right thing to do now, rather than knowing it later and something happened.
Exactly.
Yeah? So double-edged sword. It's nice when you have supervisors to
Yeah. You have someone to call on for help.
yeah, immediately. In long working, you have to decide. It's autonomy. It really depends, but you have to make sure that you don't compromise the service as well.
Mm.
are your decisions. So yeah, it will turn you to have a good decision making skills.
So in terms of traveling, so you're using the bus. Um, is your bus fare reimbursed?
Yes, it's reimbursed. And, it depends on you, but usually we ask it at the end of the month. So they will give it to you the next month.
So it's the same with if you have a car, they cover the cost of your gasoline.
Yes, your mileage.
Okay.
Yes.
So I guess in a way that's also a benefit because if you have like finished the maximum number of bus trips for you to go unlimited, then you can go home on a bus unlimited, isn't
Yes,
it?
of course, without pay.
Yeah.
One of those, yeah. So if you're a walker, we always reach the maximum bus ride. So at the end of the day, the rest is the
Free, yeah.
So for other pros, I think in the hospital it's quite very it's time bound. We do work time bound, but in the community when you visit patients, you can sit with them and give them time to actually have an inquiry about their life and to make them comfortable. Anyway, nursing is holistic, so you got everything in there. So I think when you talk to them, you'll see that you'll see the other aspects of their difficulties, needs, and of course the positive side of their lives, which you can also collaborate with different teams. For example, the patient needs podiatry or needs financial support, social services. We connect all of them.
We have actually missed the bus, guys, so we're gonna walk for 20 minutes now to the next patient. So I guess this is one of the cons of this job. Joby, what do you think are the other cons?
Weather, yes, yeah, it has been mentioned earlier. Because if the weather is bad, it's really difficult to work. And cons is also safety. Because you're always on the street. At the same time, you don't know. Especially if the patient, you don't know for the first time you see the patient and you don't know how is it. So your safety is a bit compromised. Yeah, but you just have to be careful, yeah? And follow policies like that. So, for example, you're seeing the patients that are a bit difficult, let's say like that. You call your bosses, the coordinator, like to inform that I'm coming to this patient. I'm going in there because you must prioritize your safety before the work. So if it's not safe, out. Pack your bags, out. No one will question you because it's your safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of those decisions that you have to make every day.
How long have you been doing this job?
Oh, it's a year and 3 months now.
And for those number of months, have you ever been in a dangerous situation?
Danger. I think so. Well, I'm quite a fearless person, but I think there are some, yes, especially the ones with mental problems.
Oh, okay, it's with regards to the patient, but externally, have you ever been mugged?
I don't wish
Things like that?
No, currently no, thank God. Yeah,
But it's one of the risks.
yes. Yeah. Also with people who's driving, I think that's you don't leave your stuff in your car, or they'll open it and get something in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So But you just have to be aware of your environment if you're walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just have to know if someone's following you. Yeah, thinking that maybe she doesn't know, so they're just following you. Yeah, just have to be more aware.
How about these long walks? Do you see this as pros or cons?
Oh, it depends. I think if you're older, this is a con for older people because the knees are hurting and everything. But for me, it's a form of exercise. So I don't hate it, and I'm just in the middle.
Okay.
It's something I don't love it, but if it's necessary to do it, I should do it, ain't it? So we keep on walking. This is a bit far because we missed the bus apparently. Okay, another form. It's when the demands of patients are not applicable to the limitation of the service. It's because there are things that we cannot do for them, but they want us to do it. So it's a bit hard. We try to explain and everything. So it's just one of the cons. It makes the work really hard because you want to do things for them as much as you can, but you can't.
Yeah.
Because there's limitation to it. So,
Can you give one example of that thing that someone has requested and you're not, it's not part of your service?
What else is it? I think they say, let's generalize it. They say it's an emergency. I say, it's emergency, you should go here. And like that. But we're not an emergency service. If you want an emergency, you have to call 999. Yeah, so it's like the real push and push. But yeah, it's quite hard, but in the end, we still do what we can do for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we call the 999 for them.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay, so we've just been to a care home
Yeah.
where you actually saw 3 patients.
Yes.
Could you talk us through what happened for each patient?
Okay, the first one, we see him for pressure sore and on the feet. So it's doing quite well, and the patient is happy about it. The second one, she has a habit of refusing treatment because, well, that's fine with us as long as the wound is not compromised. But at the moment, it's fine. So, luckily today, she allowed me to do the treatment, and the wound is not that bad. The third one, we see her for the pressure sore, and we discharged her today because it has all cleared up. So we're happy.
So it's all healed.
Yeah, all healed, clear, the skin are cleared and everything. So we discharged her because we don't really, if the patient doesn't need any nursing input, we discharge them.
So I saw you writing something as well. So just like if you're doing medications, whenever you do procedures, you actually need to write some sort of progress notes?
Yes, progress notes. We have progress notes for wounds as well as updating the care plan if it needs updating. So far, yeah. The patients today are all apparently not too difficult at the moment.
So, when you first started, how did you find the relatives or the carers that were with the patient? Are they welcoming and helpful to district nurses?
Yes, of course. They help us whenever we need things to do. And, because normally district nurses don't stay with them
Mm.
for quite a while. It's the carers or the family that's with them. So whatever that the nurses need support, that's when we ask them to do things for us because they have to. We are not 24/7 nurses. Unlike in the hospital, you have nurses 24/7.
Yeah. Okay.
So the roles of carers and families is crucial to this work. Does he have the cream?
It blocks the entire county. I live on the A20 and you get 2-3 hour delay.
Okay, back to work. So, Joby, so you've been on this job for almost 2 years now. What would you say is the worst living situation you've ever seen?
Worst living situation. Oh, well, there are patients that you'll just wanna cry because you pity them. It's because when you see them, they're living alone with disabilities,
Hmm.
and then the house is unkept, and they are not eligible for social services.
Hmm.
So it's a bit hard because you're the only one seeing them. So you see them like that. So I think that's the worst because there's a lot of risks for them. Like the living condition is not safe, risk of infection, all of those really. But we try our best to help them as much as possible, collaborate with other agencies, social services, and like that. We've seen a lot of
Yeah.
them in the community, which is sad as well.
So, going from what you've just said, um, has that made you think of the far future when you get older? Do you plan to stay in the UK?
Actually, I think I'll retire back home because it's cold here. It's not good for my knees,
True.
for my bones specifically. And I have my family back home to at least watch over me.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't it? So I might go back and forth from UK to the Philippines, but retiring here completely is a bit hard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you need your family in the end anyway. So that's my plan if it happens.
So we're done with patient number 9. Where are we going now?
Hand over to the office.
So you do the handover every afternoon.
Yes. So we have updates for the location done.
Okay, so handover is finished. One last patient, and we're done. Last bus of the day. What happened? You took like 45 minutes.
You know, in this job,
It's 5:15 now. What
I'm
happened?
sorry, you're OT now. It's because you see it. You don't just see it in the hospital. We see it a lot in the community,
Mm.
and this is one of the skills that you need to have. It's like, you know, the psychology, being like a psychologist, but not really the psychologist, because sometimes patient needs to offload their feelings,
Mm.
and you can't leave them like too emotional for it
Mm.
because it's not safe. So I tried to calm her down until she calmed down. So it takes time. You know how hard it is. So I'll just told her that I will help her with some people contact and everything, which we can, especially with her emotional state, because it comes and go now. She said she's being sad and everything. So I'm like, okay, let's see what we can help for you. So yeah, but it goes on long. So, yeah, you have to give time as well, guys.
Oh, going the extra mile, guys. That's proper nursing care for you.
But you know,
So now that you finish your last patient, what's gonna happen now?
I changed my mind. I'll go home. I'm not gonna go back to get my stuff. I'll go tomorrow instead.
Okay, so once you finish your last patient, you can just go home.
Yeah, because the bosses knows it anyway. It's how you manage your time. And even though it's past 5, it's because what do you call it? You have to give away your time willingly.
Hmm.
Yeah, the boss is here.
Oh, okay. Okay, Job, I know you must be tired now and you really want to go home after the long shift. But before we go, is there anything you'd like to say to any potential or aspiring nurses who want to work in the community here in the UK?
Um, this area of nursing is quite rewarding as well, and you will never get bored. So if you want this kind of work, just come to the UK and discover things about other people, other culture, and especially you will find things surprisingly within yourself as well. Because as you know, culture, people, you will notice the changes that you will have within yourself. So if you choose community nursing, join us here in UK.